The tiny Fujiya tofu shop, tucked into a corner of Tokyo's historic Ueno district, has been supplying this quiet neighborhood with soybean curd for nearly a century. Tofu has an ancient pedigree dating back thousands of years. Originally concocted in China, the bland protein has become a staple of cuisines from Bangkok to Busan. But outside China, no country gobbles up as much of the white stuff as Japan.
Yes, Japan is unique. Again, about 25% of the total soybean trade here goes to human food use, which is quite unique.
Hiroshi Takahashi has been in the business since he was 15. Now 72, age has slowed his step, but not by much.
In the old days, I rose at 2 a.m., but now I sleep in until 4.
It takes 3 hours to mash his water-soaked soybeans into a slurry. The liquid portion is filtered and then mixed with calcium salt and other coagulants to curdle it. Finally, the thickened soy milk is ladled into molds, compressed with heavy weights, and deftly sawed into blocks. The local tofu store used to be a fixture of every neighborhood in Japan. Each morning, housewives would come and buy a block or two. But now, fresh handmade tofu and the corner tofu store are becoming a thing of the past. Business is slow for Takahashi's shop. Supermarkets undercut his prices by almost half. Japanese consumers are snubbing soy for meat and the richer culinary fare of a westernized diet. But for Takahashi, the latest bombshell was lobbed from overseas via the world commodity markets.
Soybeans are expensive. Every delivery they cost more. I don't think about making money these days. I'm just trying to make ends meet.
Takahashi, of course, is hardly unique. In their heyday back in the 1960s, there were about 50,000 tofu makers in Japan, a business originally restricted to tiny local stores. But now, only about a fifth of these family shops remain. Soaring soybean prices, up by more than half over the last year, are hastening the demise of the corner tofu shop, says the industry's trade association.
Since last year, fuel and soybeans have surged in price. So of course our members are struggling. Some are on the verge of bankruptcy.
The soy squeeze is particularly painful for Japan, which has to pay a premium for non-GMO grain. That is, soybeans grown conventionally rather than genetically modified. But non-GMO beans comprise a fast-dwindling sliver of soybean exports from the U.S., the main source for the nearly $2 billion Japanese soybean market.
The case for non-biotech is getting harder and harder to make. And yes, that can only mean that premiums will have to go up to convince these producers to continue to grow these very traditional varieties.
Japanese consumers are notoriously fussy about what they eat, and genetically engineered food faces stiff opposition. Privately, the Tofu Trade Association says it favors lifting the unofficial ban on GMO soybeans. But with continued fierce resistance from consumer groups, sky-high soy prices are likely to continue helping to shutter Japan's small tofu makers and speeding the end to a way of life.